Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be bringing you guys a story time kind of video, and it's going to be about me being 17 and pregnant. So let's get started. Let's go first of all to like when I was first meeting my boyfriend's daddy, and that was right around the time where my parents were never home because they were working. They were working really far, so they had to stay in a hotel closer to their job. It was like 2.5 hours away, or not, I don't know how far it was away. I just know it's probably like an hour or more. They said that they were going to be stopping in like every 2 to 3 times, or like every other day. That didn't happen. So oh right, before I get started, well, before I continue, I am not condoning teen pregnancy whatsoever, and I am not blaming anybody for my pregnancy whatsoever. I take full responsibility, and let's move on. I am the youngest in my family. I have 3 older sisters and 1 older brother, and that, with my parents being gone, my siblings kind of took me and kind of were like, oh, we need to watch after her, and we need to make sure, she doesn't do things she's not supposed to be doing, which made me do things I wasn't supposed to be doing. They were watching after me and making sure I got home from school right away, because I had really strict parents. So my parents were like, school, home, and don't go out anymore. Like, that's how they were. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work, sorry. I just moved my ankle, guys, if you saw the frame change. So around that time is when I met my baby daddy, and he on his side of his family and everything, they weren't like that. They were like, he had his own car already, and he was a year older than me. He was 17, so he had his own car, and he can go out after school. He didn't have to tell his parents. He, can stay out late, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Oh, I wish I could do that. I'm gonna do that. That's how it was. So I had my 16-year-old self, I had to find a way to get around all that. So I had to find some excuses so that way they wouldn't come calling me. I would have to be like, I'm staying after school today. It's gonna be about 3 or 4 hours, mom. That's what I would say. And then I started staying after school every single day, and that's when they started noticing something was off. Something wasn't right. No kids wants to stay after school every single day for 3 or 4 hours. That doesn't happen. So I had to, those were my excuses. Or it was like, oh, me and my friend are gonna go eat Chick-fil-A, which in some cases that was true, but me, I screwed it up for myself, and they were like, no, get home, because I was always staying after school. So that was in the kind of like phase that I was in, until I finally, I was always fighting with my parents, and I was always running away, and I was always, arguing with everybody, and I was always a grumpy person. I was so grumpy all the time. Nobody could talk to me. Nobody could look at me. I was grumpy because I wasn't getting to do what I wanted to do, which really made me even more mad when I went to school, because I saw all the girls my age and all the boys my age and everybody else being able to go out all the time, and it was making me so mad. And then that's when I finally, sat down with my parents, and I told them everything that was happening, and I was like, you know what, I want to be able to have my own freedom and all this kind of stuff. So we had that conversation, and then that is when I introduced Michael to them, the baby daddy. And I introduced them, and they liked him. He was good. So we started dating. We were actually dating, and you know, I got a little bit more freedom here and there, and life was good, you know. And then when I was 17 and me and him were dating for a couple of months, I begged my parents to move in with him, like if I could move in with him. And I begged and I begged and I begged and I begged and I begged. And what did they do? Say no. I'm just kidding. They let me. They actually let me, which was really, really crazy to me. Now that I think about it, why would they let me do that? Mom, what were you thinking? And I was like, okay, yes, I really want you. So I packed my shit and I moved into his house, and I was living there for a couple of months, maybe like a month, literally. And then I was like, what did I say? Oh, we would get in fights a lot, me and him. I was like, you know what, maybe this moving in thing was not good for us. I was like, maybe we need to take a step back. So I moved back to my parents' house, and I was living at my parents' house for like maybe like a month also. I don't know, I'm not good with time frames, just so y'all know. Fast forward to the weekend, I found out I was actually pregnant. So at this point, I had missed my period for 2 months. My period was always irregular, so it would come 1 month and it wouldn't the next. It would not come for 3 months and then it would, and blah blah blah. So I was late by 2 months and I didn't take a pregnancy test because I was like, oh, my period's just acting up again. And I didn't have no symptoms like pregnancy, like throwing up or anything like that. So the weekend that I found out I was pregnant, I actually told, no, my aunt was visiting in town. So she was here, and so were my grandma and grandpa, and we were going to my cousin's baby shower. So we went to the baby shower, and the entire weekend she was here, she kept telling me like, oh, are you pregnant? You kind of look pregnant. And she was like, your like body's changing, and you know, there's something different about you. Are you sure? Have you taken a pregnancy test? And all this kind of stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. I was like, I'm sure, I'm positive I'm not. I'm pretty positive, and I'm just chubby. That's what I said. And she was like, I don't know. And she just kept like kind of making little comments like the entire trip she was here. And I was just like, oh my god, lady, I'm not pregnant. And then we went, and then she left. She left. And the day I found out I was pregnant was October 20th. And I found out because my aunt called my older sister, and she called my sister and she was like, did you get Daisy a pregnancy test? And she's like, no. And she's like, well, you need to, because I'm pretty sure she's pregnant. And then my sister's like, okay, I'll get her one. So my sister goes, she's out shopping, and then she comes home and she has her shopping bag. It's like a Kohl's bag or something, and she has a pregnancy test inside that she whips out while I'm in my sister's room talking to her. And she's like, go take this. And I'm just like, oh my god, guys, y'all are gonna see I'm not pregnant, whatever. And I went like to the restroom like so willingly, like, oh, let me just go take this. If I had any hunch that I was pregnant, I wouldn't have taken it, but I went so willingly, and I just hopped my ass to the fucking bathroom and took it, and surely enough, it came out positive. And I was like, fuck. Like, I kind of like started crying and stuff. So I take the pregnancy test, it comes out positive, and I walk out back to my sister's room, and I just start bawling my eyes out. And my sisters are there, you know, trying to cheer me up, and they're like, oh no, it's okay, you're like, you know, you're gonna have a beautiful baby, and you know, you're gonna be fine, everything's gonna be okay.
Santa Claus, Santa.
Oh my god. My dad's dressing up as Santa Claus. Okay, where was I? Okay, yeah, so then I'm just like crying and bawling my eyes out that I'm pregnant. And then my sisters are like, are you gonna tell Michael? And I'm like, yeah, of course I am. So I call Michael up and I was like, hey, can you come over really quick? We had been fighting like earlier that day about something like stupid and petty. And then I always do this, like every time we fight I will just like call him and be like, hey, come over. So I did that, and I was like, hey, come over. And then he did. And then I showed it to him in front of everybody, in front of my sisters, all my sisters. My parents didn't know yet, but I showed it to him, and his little, like, his face just goes like blank, and he's just so serious and so shook and so surprised. And I was like, I need some type of reaction from you, because I'm not liking this. I'm not liking it. And then I was kind of, you know what, just go, just get out. And I was like, I'm gonna tell my mom, and I don't want you to be here. While, you know, I was mad because like his reaction wasn't the way I wanted it to be, which now I understand, because, you know, guys need time to process and stuff, I guess. So he left. So that was his reaction at first. And then my sisters were like, okay, now you have to tell mom. And my dad wasn't home yet, so they're like, now you have to tell mom. So we call my mom, and she's in a good mood, which is good. And then my sister has a pregnancy test, my oldest sister, and she gives it to my mom, acting like it's her that's pregnant. And my mom like does not even like fall for that, and she straight looks at me and she's like, you're pregnant. And she starts smiling and she's like happy. And then I start crying again, because that was not the reaction I was expecting from her. So that was nice. And then I go somewhere with one of my friends, and my mom told my dad for me, and my dad wasn't mad, but me and my dad never had the conversation about like, are you really pregnant, or blah blah blah. Like, we never had any type of conversation about it, but we were never mad at each other. We just had normal conversations until I was like further along, and then it kind of like, you know, just faded away, and we would talk about it. But right then and there, we never talked about it. Never. Fast forward that, maybe about like 3.5 months to 4 months, when I'm pregnant, is when we finally told his parents. And he never wanted to tell his parents for whatever reason. He was scared, I don't know, but he never wanted to tell his parents. And I was like, you need to tell his parents. And he really never did tell his parents, because this is what I did. I'm a smart girl. I would spend the night every now and then at his house, you know, since I wasn't living there anymore. And I left my prenatal box right on his nightstand on purpose, so his parents can finally know. Because he was just not budging, he was not telling them, and I was like, I'm not gonna be having this, like, they need to know. And so he did. He finally left. I left the prenatal box right on his nightstand, and that is how they found out. And his sister had already knew. She found out like Halloween night. His mom found my prenatal box, and then she went to her room and was like, hey, do you know anything about these? And she was like, no. And she was like, well, only pregnant people take these. And then she was like, you gotta talk to Michael. And that's how she found out. And the first thing she did was go shopping. So Michael had nothing to be scared about. But yeah, that's pretty much how we told them. And I don't really know how they told his dad, because I wasn't there, or how the mom told the dad. But from what I heard, that he was excited to be a grandfather. So that is all I really have to tell about me finding out how I was pregnant and all that. My pregnancy wasn't really bumpy either. Like, I didn't have no baby daddy drama, because we are still together till this day, and we are now engaged, and we live together. So that is that. Oh, this is being told when this is being told on November 11th. So my son, I had a boy, my son is 5 months today. And yeah, so this is basically how we found out if we were pregnant, and how I told him, and how I told my parents, and how basically I told his parents. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this story time. And it's not really that interesting because there wasn't really anything like rocky happening through my pregnancy, but yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next one because I'll be back with more videos.